Hello ladies! I thought I'd squeeze in a quick video while Breck's sleeping. I have just basics on. I have just a pressed powder and a little bit of bronzer. So obviously I haven't really showered today, but I thought I'd get this video in and then I've got to go swimming later, so that's why I'm not really put together. So I'm also going to kind of go over how I get my pigments so vibrant. I've had a lot of people ask, and so I thought I would tell you my secrets. These two products right here. These are my products. Glorious Primer, must have, especially if you're wearing any mineral-based makeup, period. I don't care what brand it is. If you're wearing makeup, especially mineral-based makeup, you should be wearing a primer. That's what your makeup's gonna adhere to and last all day and look smooth all day. So start with the primer. I put it all over my face, including my eyelids, because it's a face primer. Now make sure if you're using a primer, make sure it's a face primer before you go putting it all over. Most primers are just for eyes, but they do have face primers like our Glorious. So that's my number one. So I put that on to start. I let that kind of dry. And the look I'm gonna recreate today is my navy smoky eye. I've got lots of compliments of people really liking that look. And so I'm gonna kind of recreate it if I can. Let's see. Sometimes I really just pick out colors and I play with them and that's what happens. So the colors I used were Irresistible, which is a light tan, Precocious, which is a navy, and then Curious, which is the highlighter. So for this one, because it's a smoky eye, I'm going to start, I just kind of put some, apparently this one's almost out. I need to buy some more. It's because I use it all the time. I love it. So to get vibrant colors, first, primer. If you're just putting on the loose powder with nothing on, it has nothing to adhere to, so it's just going to kind of flake off and be no color. If you have a primer on, it will stay and look more vibrant, but to really get it vibrant, I use rose water. And I just kind of squirt a little bit on my brush, and I mix it with the pigments that's in my cap here, just kind of make it creamy, okay? Iridescent look. And then for this one, I'm just going to use it for a highlighter. I'm going to bring it down. Just kind of cover my whole eye. Usually I do the highlighter last, but for this look, because it's a smoky eye, I do it first. It's easier to blend. Okay. I usually use a mirror because it's much easier. And I'll do that again, but at least I've got my basics on. And then I'm going to take Precocious, which is the navy, one of my absolute favorite colors ever. I just love it. It's so pretty. This one I'm actually going to apply dry because it's darker. And I just apply to my lid. Great way to really get that curve to make sure you're not going up too high. For me, I just kind of and let my brush just kind of fall on the crease of my natural eye. Okay? Now, what I'm going to show you is how when applying it wet versus just pigment. Again, get my little squirt of rose water. I'm going to dip it in the pigment. Get a little creamy, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you apply it wet. Can you see the difference? With getting it wet, the color is a little bit darker, a little bit more vibrant than if it's just with primer. So that's another way I get my pigments more vibrant, is not only using primer, but applying them wet, especially for the lighter colors I'm going to show you here in a second. So that's the difference between applying it wet versus dry. Okay, now we're gonna take Irresistible, which is that tan color. Okay. And because it is a tan color, I'm gonna show you again just the primer. Some on my brush. And I'm gonna show you just the primer. What that color looks like. Okay? That's just primer. Now, I'm going to show you what it is wet. One little squirt. Didn't get it wet enough. There we go. Okay. I'm just doing the crease. See the difference? Major difference, right? So this is the eye that I've used primer and rose water to apply my pigments wet. And this is the eye that I used just primer and applied them matte dry. Crazy, right? So then if you feel like you need more blue, you just go and get more blue. Brighten it up a little bit more. If you want to make it more vibrant. The great thing about these pigments is they're buildable, so you can keep building until you get the color you want. And you know, when you're blending, if you accidentally blend too much and you cover up a certain color and you want more color, then just add more color. Simple as that. Okay, so now to finish my eye, I always go back to my Curious. Trying to take the lid off this so I can get more. Time to get out my stash. Always have extra. Okay, so again, I get my brush wet. Dip it in there, make it creamy. Get it creamy on my brush. Do the highlight. Do the corner of my eye a little bit. Brighten that up. And then I usually always will go back with my brown, blend it a little bit more so you don't really see the cutoff, the levels. You know, boom, boom, boom. You want to see it a little bit, but not like massive. There you go. And then what I believe I did in that look, I'd have to go back and look, but I did a little bit of the blue under my eye. So I just got it wet. And I'm using the brush for a little bit of liner underneath the eye. And then normally what I do, because that's kind of harsh, you're like, I don't want to look like I have a black eye, is I go back with the tan and I blend it out. And then if you don't want that look, that dark, you know, look for like an evening look, then don't do underneath the eye. You don't have to. You know, also blend out. Sorry for my red eye, I was dusting earlier. You can always take your blending bud and kind of blend it out. So that's how I get my pigment so vibrant. And that's how I did my smoky eye. I just kind of build it layers. Everyone does a little differently, but that's how I did mine. Again, this is the eye with just primer applied dry, pigments applied dry. And this is the eye with my primer and then the pigments applied wet using rose water. So I hope that was helpful. Any questions, let me know, and check out alana'slashes.com. Have a great day. Bye-bye.